Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to put some makeup on my face. I rarely do this. I really do first impression reviews. I really do get ready with me's, but I did receive the Cinderella collection from Sigma in the mail and surprise, surprise, it actually arrived before the launch date, which is amazing because usually when I receive any PR, it arrives like a month late to Australia and by then it's already sold out or gone or irrelevant. So this launched when you're watching this last week. This is not sponsored, but I was looking at the collection. I was posting about it on Instagram, at the Beauty News Instagram, and I just thought this is really pretty and I want to sort of put it on my face. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, so in the collection, there is an eyeshadow palette up here, a blush and highlighter duo, a liquid lipstick, a lip gloss. This is a makeup bag that's very sparkly, and that comes with the brush set. At the moment, a Disney collection is like a dime a dozen. They're happening all the time, especially with Disney princesses. So this is not super unique in terms of the collaboration. I'm also not a big Cinderella fan, so I was like, this is not something I'd be drawn to normally, but I do have to say one thing I like about this is it's a very pretty and very wearable collection. If you're a big Cinderella fan, you might be a little bit disappointed in this because there's no images of the characters. It's just this nice soft sort of Tiffany blue color with this gold filigree, and that's what all the packaging is sort of like. But what I like about that is this will appeal to a lot of people and it's quite classy and quite classic. So it's very pretty. It's got that Cinderella vibe to it, but it's not shoving the property down your throat. So I do actually quite like this. I think longevity wise, this is a palette that will stand up in someone's collection for a longer period of time. I also feel like the closer you look at this collection, the more detail you'll see that is quite nice. So for example, on every shimmer shade of the eyeshadow palette, there's an imprint of the character or something to do with the story. So you have Cinderella, the evil stepsisters, the glass slipper, Prince Charming, then you have the mice, the birds, and the fairy godmother down the bottom. So, you know, there are definitely references to characters, but it's a lot more subtle. I also really like the format of this palette. So it's half shimmer, half matte, which is my favorite. I also really love these really shiny, sparkly Sigma formula eyeshadows. I've used them in the past. They apply best and most intense with the glitter glue, but I do think they rival things like Pat McGrath shimmer, like sparkle eyeshadows. So they're very pretty. So I can't wait to play with those. Another detail that I really like is with the brushes. So you can buy these brushes in a set. There's 2 face brushes and 3 eye brushes. I will list them in the description box just to make it a bit easier, but these are some of their most popular brushes. So for example, like their flat Kabuki brush. But what I love about the detail of these is there's a little engraved Cinderella silhouette in the ferrule, and also the Cinderella blue color on the handle is really pretty, but it's also got a soft holographic shift to it. So it's not just a metallic blue, it's a holographic light blue, which is really pretty. So if you're a fan of Cinderella and you want something that you can keep in your collection forever, these brushes would be something you'd want to look at. Another example of a cute little sneaky detail is in the makeup bag that you get with the brush set. It's got a custom print in there that's got Cinderella and the prince and what is it, the carriage, the pumpkin carriage. So they have some really pretty subtle details, which I appreciate. The other things in the collection, just really quickly, there's a cheek duo. So this is a really soft champagne highlighter in the shade Aglow. And then there is a blush, it's a matte sort of peachy pink blush in the shade Ever After. Again, these do have imprints on them and these are quite nice universal shades. I really don't like super pinky blushes, but this is like a nice mix between like a peach and a pink. So if you don't love orange, you can probably still wear this. So it's quite a universal shade. Then there's a liquid lipstick in the shade Dreamy, which is this nice sort of nude shade, which I'll lip swatch later. Then there's a lip gloss in a matching nude shade, but this is like a sheerer, sort of sparkly, iridescent formula, which is quite pretty. And this is in the shade Magical. So I'll try both of these. All right, let's get nice and cozy and start with the eyes. I am going to just use my MAC Painterly paint pot, which is what I usually use because I like it. One thing I like about this brush collection is these shapes are the brushes that I would use in a full face. So these are all I'm going to use. There's also a double-ended brush in the palette that I'll use as well that just fell out. So it lives in there and it's a double-ended. So it's got a bit of a firmer packer brush on one side and more of a fluffy brush on the other side. So if I need to use that, I will. But with my makeup routine, I would use this for my foundation and maybe a cream bronzer. I would set everything with this and then use it for blush and highlighter. And then these are all I need for my eyeshadow. So crease and blending out, packing on the lid, and inner corner highlight or lower lash line. So everything I need is in this set, which is really handy, and I really like Sigma quality brushes. I use them all the time. As an example, I use the medium sweeper to apply my paint pot today because I really like them and they last a long time. I really like the way that this palette has been laid out. It's quite intuitive and quite smart. So you almost have like a black and white here. That's more of a champagne highlighter, and then you have a matte black. Then you have a quad of warm browns. So that's more of like an everyday quad there, and then you can dip into the black to make it a little bit more nighttime. You can add some shimmer to make it a bit brighter. Then you have the color section of the palette, and you've got a quad of blues and greens, so you know that they all work together. And then you have a quad of purple and gold, which I think is really pretty. I love these purple tones. I love a plum. I love a plum. So the way they've laid it out is really smart, but also the finishes they've chosen for each color is really good as well, because I would hate to see this in a shimmer. It's so much more versatile in a matte. I think they've just chosen colors really well. For me personally, it's a little bit too blue heavy, but I do like using these sort of mattes just to add a pop of color or even a liner to a look. So, you know, I can definitely use them, but it is a little bit blue heavy for me, but I might do something a little bit nude with some purple today. That's what I'm thinking. All right, I'm just using the shade Pumpkin. This is the lightest matte they have in this palette, which is also smart because when they start to introduce really light mattes, that's when it becomes quite unwearable for deeper skin tones. Whereas the way they've got this, all the light shades are the shimmers, which you could use in a variety of way on all different skin tones. So I'm just using the tapered blending brush, and this is behaving really nicely. It's not applying patchy, it's not gripping to the primer. It's just applying nice and smoothly, which is what I want. So this is the shade I just used, and I'm going to put this all over the lid. I'm going to try it just on my normal primer, and if it doesn't stick and look super intense, I'm going to use it on a glitter glue. But what I like about this, it's the one that captures my attention the most because it almost looks like it's got a variety of different colors in the shimmer. It's not glitter, but there's like golds and purples and browns in there, and it looks really, really intriguing. So I want to apply that. Picks up really nicely on the brush. This mirror is really handy. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a lot darker than I was expecting, but it is a very beautiful. It definitely does not need a glitter glue to look really beautiful and intense. This is that formula that I sort of liken to the Pat McGrath special eyeshadows. It's very, very similar in how it applies and how it looks. So yeah, that's beautiful. All right, so that actually performed a lot better than I was expecting. I thought to achieve this sort of really bold, sort of metallic sparkly effect, I would need to apply it over glitter glue, but no, these are just really nice formula, which is surprising. Usually with limited edition collections, brands tend to cut costs, but I feel like they've actually upped the quality with this palette, which is really nice. Because this is a little bit darker than I wanted, but which makes sense when you actually look at it tilted, and that might be, now that I've broken the surface, it looks a lot darker than it did before. I'm going to apply some of this almost rose gold shade just over the top to brighten it. I'm using the same brush, which is the eye shading brush, but I'm just going to take off some of the eyeshadow on this Sigma switch, which I use all the time because it means I can use the same brushes over and over again. It's almost a shame to ruin the pattern with the little mice, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to apply some of Dressmakers, and that gives a beautiful sort of champagne twinkle. Going back with the tapered blending, I'm just going to blend out those edges a little bit. With that same brush, I'm just going to use that Plum Stroke of Midnight matte shade just to deepen the outer corner a tiny bit. This layers really nicely as well. So sometimes these really sort of sparkly shimmers, they don't let you layer mattes over the top, but these apply really nicely. Now I'm using the E30 pencil brush, and I'm going to take that Bippity Boppity Boo very, very shimmery purple shade just on the sort of inner half of, oh, that's super beautiful. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? These apply so well. If you like this color story or Cinderella, you will not be disappointed in this quality. It sort of reminds me of like indie eyeshadows, how they have that really beautiful, bold effect that it's hard to get in sort of really mass-produced brands, but this is coming to the party with some beautiful shades. I've seen a few people ask if these shades are multi-chrome. They don't look multi-chrome, the ones I've used anyway, but they are like multi-dimensional shimmers. They have different elements, like this purple that I've just put on. It has shimmer particles of like micro fine particles of gold and what looks like blue and purple. So there's multi-dimensional elements to it, but it doesn't have a color shift. All right, just cleaning that brush off, and these clean them really well. I'm gonna go in with Kindness, which is that brighter matte purple. And that's just gonna be on the outer half, sort of overlapping. There is some fallout, so I should tap off my brush. I never do. So I'm just blending the edges with, I've just cleaned off that blending brush. I'm finding these are applying quite dark, which is fine. It just looks a lot darker than what the pan looks. So I've cleaned that brush off again, and I'm going in with that sort of silvery, gray, purpley blue shade. Again, it's got a mix of different colors in it. I see pink, I see silver, I see blue. It's quite pretty. So that's just going on the inner corner. This is applying really silvery purple. These are so intense. Wow. So I haven't swatched these yet, and this I thought was going to be more of a highlight shade. It's actually applying quite like silver, like quite a dark silver. It's very beautiful, but for the inner corner highlight, I want something a little bit brighter. So I'm going to go in with this champagne shade there, just to add a little bit of brightness. Yeah, that's what I'm after. All right, with this same pencil brush, which I'm using to death, poor thing, I'm going to use the dark blue almost as a bit of a flicked liner. It might be better if I spray my brush, but I'm going to see how it applies dry first. This is applying really nicely. These eyeshadows are really impressing me. Wow. Bit of fallout, but that's all right. That luckily just brushes away. So there is fallout, but it doesn't sort of stick to the base and smear like dark blue everywhere. It does just dust away. That matte on just dry, creating that beautiful liner effect with a pencil brush. I didn't even use like an angle brush or a liner brush. So well behaved. And it creates this beautiful sort of subtle cat's eye. All right, I'm really happy with how that turned out. So I'm gonna leave the colors there. I'm just gonna use an Urban Decay Rockstar liner on my waterline, do some mascara, and I'll be back to show you the look. All right, so this is the final eye look. I love it. I think the quality of this palette is so good. It's a lot smokier than I was expecting. So a lot of these colors do lean. So like I'm thinking the shimmers, they do lean quite dark, but I think they're gorgeous. Every shade I've used applies beautifully. No need for glitter glue. Like I've tried quite a few Sigma palettes, and some of the old palettes I don't like at all. I just don't like them. Some of the newer palettes in this format with these really beautiful metallic shimmery formulas, I think they're gorgeous and they're totally worth the money. If you like this color story, you'll like it. If you do like something lighter, this might be a bit dark for you, but I do like it being this mid sort of rich tone because it will apply beautifully on so many different skin tones. If you are fairer, you'd probably want to use these sort of shades more as a base and then build with some of these sort of smokier shades, but I think this is gorgeous. It applies so well. I'm very impressed with this. I think they've done a great job. All right, onto the blush and the highlighter. Now, I've recently tried a highlighter palette from them. I think it's the same formula. It's very, very intense, and it does work best if you do a bit of buffing. So that's what I'm preparing for, but I love this shade of blush. I think it's gorgeous. It's sad that I'm ruining the pan imprint. All right, so I've got a bit of blush here. I might tap it off because I'm not too sure how intense these are. Beautiful color. So this is definitely one of my sort of everyday colors. It's quite neutral. It does lean more orange, so it is a little bit more peachy, but if you're like me, and you know, sort of peachy shades do lean quite pink, this will end up looking quite neutral on you, so it goes with a lot of different makeup looks. So this is definitely a duo that I could probably reach for quite frequently. It's a really pretty, and blends really nicely. You don't apply too much. There's a color there, but you sort of have to build it up to get quite a strong blush color. I actually quite like the strong blush color. Not usually a big, bold blush person, but I'm kind of digging this. Do one of these. I really love this thing. And I'm getting that a glow shade. Picked up a little bit. If you want a more intense, sort of firmer, smaller brush, works really well, but I just want a bit of a wash of champagne. That's beautiful as well. So again, not too cool tone, not too frosty. You get the bold highlight, but it's not super frosty and icy, which I hate from light highlighters. That's why I usually go for sort of gold or mid-tone highlighters, but this one has the tones that, again, I'd call this more of a neutral light highlighter. Unlike the eyeshadow palette, I feel like this highlighter would be best for light to medium skin, so it's not as versatile, but you know, face products never are. Another winner. I love these. They're beautiful. All right, for lips, I'm going to try the lip gloss first. I'm going to wipe it off, try the liquid lipstick, and then see how they layer because we want to do it all. Doe foot applicator, good. It's not one of those brushes that fray. No scent. So if you don't like scent, oh, it's quite metallic-y looking when you first apply it, but it's very thin and not sticky at all. It's got a nice slip to it. All right, that's really beautiful. It's definitely a shimmery lip gloss. It doesn't have chunks of sparkle. It doesn't feel gritty. There's like a slight grit if you look for it, but it just looks really shiny and beautiful. Probably too much with the rest of this makeup. Even though it's a translucent nude lip, I do think this would look better with either a nude eye and the cheek or the eye and just the matte cheeks. I feel like all of it is a bit much, but it is very pretty and it feels very comfortable. All right, liquid lipstick time. I feel like this is going to tone down the look a bit, which I think I need. Again, no scent, doe foot applicator, love it. Oh, beautiful tone. It's like a caramel nude. Again, it's like a My Lips but better. So it feels really hydrating. It feels like a mousse that's got like a bit of, hydration. It's not like at the moment, it hasn't dried down fully like budge proof. It's got some hydration, which is really nice, but it looks matte. This is described as a satin matte, so I don't think it's going to go that really dry matte, which is good. It gives that matte look, but has hydration to it, which is also good because it means you can layer this over the top. Often when you have a really set matte and you go in with a gloss, they just sort of, it lifts the base. But I think because this has a little bit of stick and a little bit of moisture to it, I feel like you can layer with this without too many issues. I'm going to put a tiny bit on. I don't want to put too much because again, I'm a bit over the top as it is. Oh, that feels really nice. All right, I love that combo. That just adds a beautiful shine, takes it from being a matte liquid lipstick to just a normal feeling liquid lipstick, like quite a hydrating, shiny liquid lipstick. And the colors work beautifully. It doesn't look as sparkly because it's mixed with the cream color. I love this collection so much. All right, so on first impressions, but also a knowledge of Sigma products. Like I've tried a lot of palettes, I've tried face products, I've tried their brushes, I've tried their lip products. I'm going to say this is a really nice quality collection. I am feeling like I'm living my best life. It's a bit over the top for my day that I'm going to have, but I love it. I love the cheeks. I love the tone, that peachy pink tone. I think it's gorgeous and it is quite intense, but I feel like the color just looks really healthy and the sheen is gorgeous. lip product. Oh, this is my favorite type of nude. A little bit deeper than my lip tone, a little bit more caramel than my lip tone. I love the matte finish. I love the look of the lip gloss. Probably not, again, with everything else I'm wearing, but it's a really beautiful effect. And just with a minimal makeup look, I think this would be really gorgeous. But together, I think they look best together. I think this is the optimal. I think the fact that you get it in a pair makes a lot of sense. And then the eyeshadow quality is excellent. This eyeshadow quality has really, really impressed me. I did not expect Sigma to bring their A game with this collection, but they have. Again, if you like Cinderella, you like Sigma, you like this color story. Again, it leans quite dark, so just expect a little bit of smokiness, but it applies beautifully. I haven't used all shades. I do want to use more shades. I want to use this tomorrow. I want to use it the day after. I want to use it the day after that because it is such a beautiful eyeshadow palette. And even though there's the colors, like most of it is color, I feel like because it's quite muted dark color, you can incorporate it quite easily into nude looks. Whether you just have it in the outer corner, like a bit of plum or a bit of navy or a bit of green in the outer corner, a pop of this sort of like silvery shade just on the inner part of the lid, just to like add a little bit of dimension. I love this. I think they've done such a good job. The brushes. I love Sigma brushes. I use them all the time. It's not new to me. I think I've got all these brushes in my collection. They last so well. The shapes are great. They last so well. Through washes, they hold their shape really beautifully. Unlike cheaper brushes like Morphe that fray and go like crazy. And this little set is awesome because again, that's all I really need on a daily basis. And the double-ended brush is just sort of like extra, especially if you have something like this where you can clean your brushes off in between colors. I love the details of this. The holographic light blue is gorgeous. The little silhouette of Cinderella is very precious. I like this. I like this collection a lot. The only thing that I don't need is the makeup bag, but like that's getting picky. That's getting picky. All right, I love this collection. I'm giving it a big 2 thumbs up. I can't wait to use these products. Like this blush, it's like my perfect blush. I love it. I can't wait to use this eyeshadow palette more. I want to use it tomorrow. I want to use it the day after. I want to use it the day after that. I want to use can you tell that I'm really impressed with this collection? I think they've done a great job. If Sigma keeps bringing out makeup that applies this well and looks this good, this easily, because that's one thing. Often you get these dark shades, often you get these sparkly shades, and it takes a technique to apply them. This took no technique. It just took a primer to apply them. If they keep bringing out makeup of this quality, I think there will be a shift and people will start to know Sigma for their makeup and not their brushes. Because their brushes are fantastic, but their makeup, they're starting to really up their game. So again, I'll leave all the details down below if you want to get it. It's out now. I think it came out when you're watching this last week, so it's brand new, but I am thoroughly impressed. And if you want a nice brush set, this one's a gorgeous one. All right, so let me know if you've tried this or what your thoughts are on Sigma makeup. Have you tried their more recent eyeshadow palettes? What do you think of the quality? I love it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.